In the last lecture, we have discussed one more problem related to the n jobs and two machine, but somewhat having somewhat extra variety related to the n jobs and two machines. Okay, then we have discussed some rules related to the n jobs and three machine problem. Okay, so initially we are considering the three machines as m1, m2, m3. Okay, and job need to be processed in this order only. So first of all, job will be processed on a m1 machine, then the job will processed on a m2 machine, and then job will processed on a m3 machine. But to solve the problem by using Johnson's algorithm, there are two conditions, and the problem should satisfy at least one condition. Okay, so first condition to solve the problem with Johnson's algorithm is nothing but the smallest value of on em1 machine for any of the job. For consider the smallest value on a em1 machine, and that smallest value of a time or processing time should be greater than or equal to the largest processing time on a machine 2. Okay, जो भी smallest value आपको m1 machine पर मिलेगी, वो smallest processing time की value और processing time m2 machine पर का जो largest processing time है उसके बराबर होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो उससे बड़ी होनी चाहिए. और दूसरी कंडीशन ये है कि smallest processing time on machine m3, okay, should be greater than or equal to the largest processing time on machine m2. Okay, so second condition क्या है, m3 machine पर हमें smallest processing time निकालना है. m3 machine पर के जो भी processing time है for all the job, so we have to find out the smallest one. Okay, and that smallest processing time on a m3 machine should be greater than or equal to largest processing time on machine m2. Okay, largest processing time on machine m2. And out of these two conditions, the problem should satisfy at least one condition. Okay, out of these two conditions, the problem should satisfy at least one condition. Then and then only one can go for Johnson's algorithm for n jobs and three machines. Okay, if either or both of the above stated condition are satisfied, the given problem can be solved by Johnson's algorithm. The given problem can be solved by Johnson's algorithm. Getting everyone? I hope you have written this part also. Okay, so what will be the procedure to solve the problem by Johnson's algorithm? So once again, we are converting, first of all, we are converting the three machine problem into two machine problem. Okay, three machine problem into two machine problem. When we are converting the three machine problem into two machine problem, when the condition is satisfied, at least one condition or both the conditions are satisfied, at that time only we can convert the three machine problem into two machine problem. And for the conversion purpose, we have to use the formulas, that is nothing but we have to consider the hypothetical machine, which is the combination of a two machine. Okay, which are the combination of a two machine. So that machine will be called, also called as a fictitious or hypothetical machine. So here we need to consider two hypothetical machine, that is nothing but G and H. Okay, and the processing times on a G and H machine can be calculated by using these two formulas. So for the G machine processing time, the formula is G suffix I is equal to M1 suffix I plus M2 I. And for the processing time on a H machine, the hypothetical H machine, the formula is H suffix I is equal to M2 I plus M3 I. So by considering these two formulas, we have to convert the three machine problem into two machine problem. And once we will convert the three machine problem into two machine problem, then we can solve that problem by using our previous methodology for n jobs and two machine problem. Okay, whatever the methodology we have implemented for n jobs and two machine, same methodology we can implement, and we can determine the sequence or optimal sequence for the jobs to be processed on this particular three machines. Okay, on this particular three machine. So we need to first of all convert. First of all, we need to check the condition. If condition satisfied, then we need to convert the three machine problem into two machine problem. And next is nothing but once we convert that three machine problem into two machine problem, then we can use the Johnson's algorithm for solution of n jobs and two machines. And after that, we can determine the optimal sequence of a processing of a jobs on that particular three machines. Getting everyone? And then we can use our normal method to determine the elapsed time or total time required to process all the jobs and the idle time for the machines. Idle time for the machine. Getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? If the process is not understood, once you go for the problem, you will understood better things. Okay. Now consider, write down everyone, or else we will go for the procedure and then problem. Okay. Simultaneously, we will write the problem also. So write down the procedure. Procedure. Step one. Procedure. Step one. Step one. Convert three machine problem. Convert three machine problem into two machine problem. Convert three machine problem into two machine problem by introducing two fictitious machines, G and H, two fictitious machines G and H, such that G suffix I is equal to M1I plus M2I. Okay, so G suffix I is nothing but processing time of a particular job on G machine. Okay, then M1I means processing time of a particular job on M1 machine, and M2I is nothing but processing time of a particular job on a M2 machine. So G suffix I is equal to M1I plus M2I. Then similarly, H suffix I will be calculated as M2I plus M3I. Processing H suffix I is processing time of a particular job on H machine. Okay, will be equal to processing time of a particular job on a M2 machine plus processing time of a particular job on a M3 machine. Okay, so in this manner we have to calculate the processing times on hypothetical machines. Then step two, once the problem is converted to n jobs two machine, the sequence is determined by using Johnson's algorithm for n jobs and two machines. And step number 3 is for the determined optimal sequence. Find out the Okay, sorry. So for the determining optimal sequence, find out the minimum total elapsed time. Find out the minimum total elapsed time and idle times associated with machine. Okay, so then you can write the problem now. 7 jobs problem. 7 jobs are to be processed. 7 jobs are to be processed through 3 machines. 7 jobs are to be processed through 3 machines. M1, comma M2, through 3 machines, M1, comma M2, comma M3, M1, comma M2, comma M3, in the order M1, M2, M3, in the order M1, M2, M3. The processing times are to be given. The processing times are to be given in hours. The processing times are to be given in hours. Find the minimum total elapsed times. Find the minimum total elapsed times and idle times on M2 and M3, and idle times on M2 and M3. Okay, so make 4 columns having the headings of jobs M1, M2, M3. Okay, make 4 columns jobs M1, M2, M3. Okay, job A, processing times are 3, 4, 6. Job A, processing time 3, 4, 6, respective with M1, M2, M3 machines. So job A having processing time of 3, 4, 6. Then job B, processing times are 8, 3, 7. 8, 3, 7. Then job C, processing times are 7, 2, 5. 7, 2, 5. Okay. Then job D, processing times are 4, 5, 11. 4, 5, 11. Then job E, processing times are 9, 1, 5. Okay, job E, processing times are 9, 1, 5. Then job F, processing times are 8, 4, 6. 8, 4, 6. Job G, processing times are 7, 3, 12. Okay, so this is the N jobs 3 machine problem. Okay, now we have to solve this problem by using Johnson's algorithm. So for that purpose, we are having 2 conditions and the problem should satisfy at least 1 condition. Okay, problem should satisfy at least 1 condition. So the condition, for that conditions we required the smallest processing times of M1 and M3 machine. Okay, smallest processing times of M1 and M3 machine and the largest processing time on M2 machine. Okay, then and then only we can compare. Okay, then and then only we can compare the processing times. So smallest processing time on M1 machine, determine the smallest processing time on M1 machine. So 3, 8, 7, 4, 9, 8, 7. So 3 is the smallest processing time on M1 machine. Then here the smallest processing time on M3 machine, 6, 7, 5, 11, 5, 6, 12. So 5 hours is the smallest processing time on M3 machine. So we require smallest processing time of M1 machine and smallest processing time of M3 machine. Then we require the largest processing time on M2 machine. Okay, so 4, 3, 2, 5, 1, 4, 3. So 5 is the largest processing time on M2 machine. 5 is the largest processing time on M2 machine. Now we can compare. Okay. Now once we determine the smallest processing time on M1 and M3 machine and the largest processing time on M2 machine, then we can compare our conditions or we can tally these conditions. Okay. So step 1, you can write, check for the conditions to be satisfied. So minimum processing time on M1 machine will be equal to 3. Minimum processing time on M1 is 3. Then minimum processing time on M3 is equal to 5. Then third is nothing but we required minimum processing time on M2 machine, and it is maximum processing time on M2 machine, and it is also equal to 5. So we can check the condition. First condition is minimum time on M1 should be greater than or equal to maximum time on M2. Okay, condition 1 is minimum time on M1. You can also write minimum time on M1 should be greater than or equal to maximum time on M2. Okay, now here minimum time on M1 is 3 and the maximum time on M2 is 5. So whether this condition is satisfied? No, it is not satisfied because 3 is lesser than 5. Okay, we required the minimum processing time on M1 should be greater than maximum processing time on M2 or equal to maximum processing time on M2. But this condition is not satisfied. Now check the condition number 2. Condition number 2 is minimum processing time on M3 should be greater than or equal to maximum processing time on M2. Okay, so minimum processing time on M3 is 5 and maximum processing time on M2 is 5. So 5 is equal to 5. So we can say that this condition is satisfied. Condition number 2 is satisfied. So here we can write condition second is satisfied. Hence problem can be solved by using Johnson's N job 3 machine algorithm. Okay, condition second is satisfied. Hence problem can be solved by using Johnson's N jobs 3 machine problem. Okay, getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? Hope you have written all the things. Now next, now we have to convert this N job 3 machine problem into N job 2 machine problem, and for that purpose we required to use these two hypothetical machines. Okay, and configuration of these two hypothetical machine is nothing but GI is equal to M1I plus M2I and HI is equal to M2I plus M3I. Okay, so ये solve करने के लिए मैं इसको minimize करता हूं. Okay, you can use the zoom picture also. Okay, now here GI is equal to M1I. Okay, means what? For the particular job, processing time on one machine. Okay, here 3 plus, okay, 3 plus 4. Okay, 4. So is equal to 7. Okay, so M1I, that is nothing but processing time on M1 machine, and M2I is nothing but processing time on M2 machine. So H suffix I is nothing but M2I. So M2I is for a particular job processing time on M2 machine is 4. So 4 plus and M3I plus M3I. So 6 plus 6 plus 6. So is equal to 10. Okay. So in this manner you have to solve. So 8 plus 3, 11, and 3 plus 7, 10. Okay. 7 plus 2, 9, and 2 plus 5, 7. 4 plus 5, 9, and 5 plus 11, 16. Okay. 9 plus 1, 10. 1 plus 5, 6. 8 plus 4, 12. 4 plus 6, 10. 7 plus 3, 10. 3 plus 12, 15. Okay. So in this manner, we have determined the hypothetical machines processing time. Okay. Hypothetical machines processing times. Okay. Hope you understood everything. Is there any question, any doubt? Write down the things. Is there any doubt, any question? Can I move ahead to the next slide? I've written all the things. Easy calculations, but we need to remember these things. Okay. Okay. So now the problem is reduced. Problem is reduced to okay. So now here, now problem is reduced to n jobs and 2 machines. Now further process is same one as we have implemented for n jobs and 2 machines. Now what we have to do? We have to tally all the time periods and we have to determine the lowest time period, okay, or lowest processing time. So 7, 11, 9, 9, 10, 12, 10, 10, 10, 7, 16, 6, 10, and 15. Now here 6 is the lowest processing time, but this 6 processing time is on second number machine, that is H suffix I machine, and which is related to the E job. So we have to provide the lowest priority, or it should be processed last in the sequence. Okay, it should be processed last in the sequence. Okay, so 6 is the lowest processing time. Okay, so you can write job E. Next, job E having lowest processing time on machine HI. Job E is having lowest processing time on HI, machine HI. So make 7 blocks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the lowest priority should be provided, or okay. Then we have to remove out that E job data from the list. Okay, second step is remove data E of E job and compare the remaining processing time. Okay, E job का data हमें remove करना है और remaining data compare करना है. Okay, so now E job is removed. Now compare the data. So 7, 11, 9, 9, 12, 10, 10, 10, 7, 16, 10, 15. Okay, now here we get the lowest processing time for the job number A as a 7 and job number C for the job number C on second machine. Okay, job number A on the first machine and job number C on the second machine. There will not be any problem. We will apply our simple rule. If the processing time, minimum processing time is on machine 1, then the highest priority we need to provide to that particular job. And if the lowest processing time on machine 2, then that particular job will have the lowest priority in the sequence. Okay, so A job should have the highest priority for the remaining blocks, and the C job should have the lowest priority in the remaining jobs. Okay, so similarly, the A job will have the highest priority and C job will have the lowest priority for the remaining blocks. Okay, remaining blocks. So minimum processing time 7 for A job, minimum processing time 7 for A job on machine GI, and for C job on machine HI, on machine HI. Okay, so once again draw these blocks and give first priority for A job, second last priority for the C job, and the last priority for the E job. Okay, is there any question, any doubt? Now next we have to remove out A and C job data from the list. Okay, so remove job A and C from the table and compare. Okay, so now B, D, F, G, these jobs are remaining and they are competing for the remaining positions only. So 11, 9, 12, 10, 10, 16, 10, 15. So I get the 9 hours is the lowest processing time, and which is related to D job and which is related to the first machine or the GI machine. So it should have the highest priority in the sequence for the remaining blocks, okay, or for the remaining positions. Okay, so D job will have the highest priority for the remaining position. So minimum processing time is 9 hours for D on machine GI. So in for the remaining blocks, we have to provide the highest priority for the D job. So after A, the second should process D job. Okay. Over. So now next D job should be removed from the list. Now B, F, G, these 3 jobs are competing for the remaining positions. Now 11, 12, 10, 10, 10, 15. Now here we get the lowest processing time for the G job and also for B and F job. But the G job lowest processing time on first machine, that is GI machine, and the B and F lowest processing time is on second machine, that is HI machine. So first of all, there will not be any problem. there will not be any problem for the G job for the location purpose. Okay, so we can locate the G job in the sequencing with the highest priority for the remaining blocks. Okay, so for the remaining position, we can give the highest priority for the G job because G job is having the lowest processing time on a first machine. So first of all, we will remove the competition of a G job and we will provide the location for the G job. Okay, so in the sequence for the remaining 3 blocks, the highest priority will be at the third position for the G job. So in the sequence, we can provide the G job at a third position and highest priority will be given for the remaining 3 blocks. Okay, so minimum processing time, you can write minimum processing time is 10 hours. Minimum processing times is 10 hours for job G, on machine GI, and also for job B and F, and also for jobs B and F, and also for job B and F on machine HI, apply breaking rule 1 for job G, and we will get the priority for job G at this third position. Okay, breaking rule for job G. Okay, then the 2 jobs are remaining, but both the jobs are having the lowest processing time as 10 on second machine. Okay, on second machine. Now when it will happen, when the lowest processing time, same processing time on the second machine, at that time you have to compare their processing times on first machine. Okay, on first machine, and if you get the lowest processing time on a first machine for a particular job, okay, then for that particular job we should provide the lowest priority. Okay, we should provide the lowest priority. So that is our breaking rule number 3. Yesterday we have written the breaking rules. So once we get the common lowest time for 2 jobs, in that case compare the processing times of that particular jobs on machine number 1 and find out the lowest processing time of a particular job and give the lowest priority for that job in the sequence. Okay, so B job will have the lowest priority in the sequence for the remaining 2 blocks, and F job will have the highest priority for the remaining 2 blocks. Okay, or for the remaining 2 positions. So here these 2 remaining positions are there. In that we have provided B job as the lowest priority or the last in the sequence in that 2 blocks. Okay, so job B is having minimum processing time on machine GI. So we have provided this job, and for the remaining position only 1 position and 1 job is competing. So this position will be provided to the F number job. Okay, so we will get the sequence as optimal sequence. You can write the optimal sequence as ADG FBCE, ADG FBCE, ADG FBCE, ADG FBCE. Okay, so this will be the optimal sequence. Okay, once we determine the optimal sequence, then what we have to do? We have to determine the elapsed time. Okay, elapsed time. Okay, can you determine the elapsed time? Okay, can you determine the elapsed time? Solve this and let me know your elapsed time, final elapsed time. I will provide you 5 minutes time period. Do calculation now. Now I think you are that much expert in doing the calculation. Okay, but here remember there are 3 machines. So in that case, you have to more focus on the calculations. Okay. Okay. Idle time 3 hour, in time here 7. Okay, out time 13 and idle time will be 7 hour for the second machine. Okay, for the D job 3 hour in time. Okay, then 7 hour. Okay, out time, then 7 hour 3 7. Here in time will be 7 hour, 12 hour will be the out time. Okay, then idle time will be 0 or dot dot, then 13 hour will be the in time, 24 hour will be the out time. Okay, and idle time will be 0. Okay, then for the G job 7 hour will be the in time, 14 hour will be the out time. Okay, then here 14 hour will be the in time, then 17 hour will be the out time. Then here we can say that 2 hours will be the idle time, and here in time will be 24 hour, and 36 hour will be the out time. Okay, idle time 0. Okay, then for F machine 14 hour in time, 22 hour out time. Okay, so here 22 hour in time, then 26 hour out time. Okay, then 5 hour will be the idle time. Okay, then 36 hour in time, 42 hour out time, no idle time. Okay. Then for B machine, 22 hour will be the in time, 30 hour will be the out time. Then here also 30 hour will be the in time, and 33 hour will be the out time. Okay, so 4 hour will be the idle time. Then here 42 hour will be the in time, and 49 hour will be the out time, no idle time. Okay, then for C machine, 30 hour will be the in time, 37 hour will be the out time. Here also 37 hour will be the out time, in time. Then 39 hour will be the out time, 4 hour will be the idle time. Then 49 hour will be the in time, 54 hour will be the out time, and dash dash. Then for the E job, 37 hour will be the in time, 46 hour will be the out time. Here 46 hour will be the in time for second machine, 47 hour will be the out time, 7 hours idle time. Okay, then here the job will be located after 54 hour, and 59 hour will be the out time. Okay, so idle time. So you can calculate the idle time for the machine 1, machine 2 and machine 1. Okay, and the total elapsed time will be the 59. Okay, so I hope you understood the things. If not, I will repeat once again this problem, those have not understood. Okay. Okay, hope everyone noted down this problem, and if you have noted down this problem, then you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave.